Open the July Ordinary Meeting of Mount Isa City Council. Mount Isa City Council acknowledges the Kalkadoon and the Injinji people, traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people here today. Please note this ordinary meeting of Mount Isa City Council will be live streamed and recorded in accordance with Council's recording of council meetings policy. As a visitor in the public gallery, your presence may be recorded. By remaining in chambers, it is assumed your consent is given if your image is inadvertently broadcast. To start off today, I'd like to welcome Pastor Keith Christie from the Mount Isa Christian Outreach Centre, who will be providing our opening prayer. Welcome, Pastor Keith.
Thank you so much. Praise God. Lord, I just pray for this council and each one of these people today for wisdom and understanding in all the decisions that they make. I pray for your favour upon each and every one of them, Lord God. I pray for the favour with the mining industry. I pray for the favour with the local governments, Lord, the state governments. I pray for favour to come upon this council. The favour that will go before them, Lord. The favour that can open doors that no man can shut. And Father, I just thank you for these people today. I thank you, Lord, that they're people that you put in position, that you've chosen. And I pray, and Lord, you bless each one of them abundantly. Lord, I thank you again in Jesus' name for this great city of Mount Isa. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Keith.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Councillor Dan Ballard has provided his apologies for the meeting today and requested a leave of absence. So in note of that, I'd like to move that the apology be received from Councillor Dan Ballard and be accepted and a leave of absence granted for today's meeting. Do I have a seconder for that motion?
Second, Tully.
Thank you, Councillor Tully. All in favour? That is carried. So, we have casual for a cause today. During the month of May, Mount Isa City Council staff raised $238.05 for the charity DVNQ, which stands for Domestic Violence North Queensland. Jacinta Marshall from DVNQ is attending today to accept the certificate of donation. Hi, welcome Jacinta. Thank you for coming along. What usually happens is
Come around here, mate. Come in here. You're the main person for 10 minutes.
we get out of the way.
You're right, come in there. Jump in there.
No, but watch this, so you'll be right. Unless you do something wrong. Okay.
You'll be right.
So what normally happens is we just give you the opportunity just to talk a little bit about your charity and what you do. So are you comfortable to do that?
Yeah, where do I look? Without that?
Just talk to the councillors and it'll be on the live stream.
So,
have the microphone.
DVNQ is one of the oldest domestic violence services here in Mount Isa. We are here to support women and children escaping from violence generally, but even if they stay, we're there to support them. We provide crisis response supports and access to financial incentives to help them leave or ensure their safety from violence. We also offer court support and a few other things, so safety upgrades at home. So yeah, that's basically what we do. And with donations like this, we will get some supplies for women and children so that they can have access to the necessities that they need when they're leaving violence. So it's going to be very helpful for women and children here.
Thank you very much. And you reach out to Zonta as well?
I'm not sure. That Townsville office usually handles.
Oh, okay. Rightio. Thank you. I see you're going to take a photo? Are you right to be in a photo? Yeah.
Oh.
Here you are.
Thank you,
Tish.
Thank you so much.
There you are. Thank you. And thanks for the work that your organisation does for our community.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christina.
See you later.
Do I have a mover for 5.1 minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 24th of June 2026?
Yeah, I'll just move that the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 24th of June 2026 be confirmed as a true and correct record.
Do I have a seconder for that motion?
Councillor Coughlin.
Thanks, councillor Coghlan. All in favour? Carried. Actions from the previous council meeting. Do I have a mover for 6.1, outstanding actions from previous council meetings, July 2026?
Also move that council reviews and notes the outstanding actions from previous council meetings as at the 24th of July 2026.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Do I have a seconder for the motion?
Second, Tully.
Thanks, councillor Tully.
Could I ask a
Yes,
question on
you
this
may.
one, please? I got asked in the community this week, and I think it'd be better answered by probably one of the directors, the Workforce Management Transformation Action Plan. How are they going with what they are doing?
I'll take that one.
You going to take it on notice? Okay.
No, yeah, well,
Yeah, or you can answer.
yeah, basically, it's just a strategic action plan for our HR team. So there's a number of actions in there, and we just work our way through it. It's just a continual document.
So
there
is
a
it just a
specific-
document, or are we actually trying to get people, like, is it just a document?
Well, it's a document, but what we're doing is we've actually got vacancy rates down to record low levels at the moment. So we're actually in a position where we're meeting quite a lot of our human resources goals. So I don't know whether that's a reflection of the, the economy or not, but we're really finding that we're attracting good people at the moment. So we're pretty well meeting our goals in that particular area.
Excellent, thank you, Mr CEO.
Okay, all in favour? Carried. Does anyone have any conflicts that they need to declare prior to starting the rest of the meeting? I'll take that as nil. Now it's time for the mayoral minute. As we move through July and into the second half of the year, there is a growing sense of excitement across our community as we prepare for another busy and vibrant event season. From sporting competitions and community celebrations to cultural events and fundraisers, the coming months provide countless opportunities for residents to get involved, support local organisations, and enjoy everything our region has to offer. I encourage our community groups, volunteers and residents to embrace these opportunities. The success of these events relies on the passion and dedication of our local community, and I know that everyone will once again demonstrate the spirit and hospitality that make Mount Isa such a great place to live and work. I'm particularly looking forward to the premiere of Rodeo Dreams, the documentary of Mount Isa Rodeo that's going to be held at the cinema on the Wednesday night of the Street Festival, as I understand it. I'd also like to congratulate the organisations that were involved in the NAIDOC Week celebrations, including the Kalkadoon PBC and our very own Mount Isa City Council Reconciliation Action Group. The events were very well attended and enjoyed by the community, and I think the Kalkatunga dancers did an amazing job, and they've really ramped up their performances, and their skills have really improved, so that was really enjoyable to watch. A reminder also about the importance of the upcoming census. Census data plays a critical role in informing government decisions, funding allocations, infrastructure planning and service delivery. It helps ensure communities like ours are accurately represented and receive the resources needed to support future growth and development. I encourage everyone to take the time to participate and ensure our community's voice is counted. So if you have visitors here on census night staying in Mount Isa, it's the Tuesday after rodeo as I understand it, make sure that you get them to fill in that they're actually visiting Mount Isa. If you're someone who flies in and out of Mount Isa and you're in Mount Isa on the night of the census, make sure that you put that you work in Mount Isa, because even if you fly in and fly out, we need to have the state government services, the medical support, the police and things that people need when they're in town, and we need the funding models correct. So that census is really important. Earlier this month, I had the opportunity to travel to Canberra with fellow members of the Australian Mining Cities Alliance. This provided a valuable platform to advocate collectively for the needs of mining communities across Australia, while also ensuring Mount Isa's unique priorities remain front and centre in discussions with the federal government representatives and key stakeholders. I am particularly grateful for the support shown by fellow Alliance councils. Many of these councils stood alongside Mount Isa during the challenges that we had last year. Their willingness to advocate on our behalf, to share their experiences and to dedicate time to understanding our circumstances has been greatly appreciated. The trip reinforced the importance of collaboration between regional industrial centres. It was also beneficial to participate in the roundtable hosted by Minister Ayres, which brought together representatives from powerhouse industrial cities across Australia. The discussion provided an open and constructive forum to examine the challenges and opportunities facing our sectors, from workforce and infrastructure needs through to energy transition and future investment. Strong regional economies underpin Australia's prosperity, and forums such as these are critical in ensuring the voices of industrial and mining communities are heard at the national level. Mount Isa's future remains closely tied to decisions made across multiple levels of government, and Council will continue to advocate strongly for our community, our workers and our industries. Last Friday, I also joined mayors and council representatives from across the Northwest at the Regional Organisation of Councils Roundtable in Julia Creek. A significant focus of discussion was the proposed changes to the DRFA funding, which have the potential to place considerable additional financial pressures on both the Queensland Government and local councils. While there was strong acknowledgement of the federal government's support through disaster recovery funding to date, there is growing concern that the proposed model may leave communities carrying a larger share of recovery costs following major events. Of particular concern is the potential removal of betterment funding, which has allowed councils to rebuild stronger and more resilient infrastructure rather than simply replacing what was lost. Across the region, there was unanimous agreement that investing in resilience delivers better outcomes for communities and taxpayers alike. Participants also highlighted the unique challenges faced by regional and remote Queensland, where disasters are frequent, recovery is ongoing, and local governments simply do not have the financial capacity to absorb significant funding shortfalls. The roundtable reinforced the importance of advocating for disaster funding arrangements that recognise Queensland's risk profile and ensure communities can recover quickly, safely and sustainably. There was also strong support for continuing to educate communities about the potential impacts of these changes so residents understand the challenges local governments may face in responding to and recovering from future disasters. Whether advocating in Canberra, working collaboratively with neighbouring councils on disaster resilience, or supporting local events and community groups, Council remains committed to ensuring the voice of Mount Isa is heard. We will continue to champion the issues that matter most to our community and work towards securing a strong, resilient and prosperous future for the region. As always, thank you to everyone who contributes to making our community a vibrant and resilient place. I encourage you to get involved in the many events ahead and support our local organisations. And for those travelling to Quamby this weekend, stay safe. Thank you. Okay, notices of motion, nil. Do I have a mover for 10.1, the 130th Annual LGAQ Conference 2026?
Yeah, I'll move that Council is represented at the Local Government Association of Queensland Annual Conference by Mayor McRae and Deputy Mayor Kim Coghlan as voting delegates and Councillors James Coghlan and Travis Crowther as observers, and that Council endorses the submission of the motion to the LGAQ Annual Conference 2026 regarding state government contribution to local government services for state-owned residential housing as tabled in this report.
Thank you, Councillor Coghlan. Do I have a seconder for the motion?
Second, Tully.
Thanks, Councillor Tully. Would you like to talk to that, Councillor Coghlan, at all?
It's just a great opportunity to see what other councils are doing and to meet with them and then bring those ideas back here to Mount Isa. And I think it's every time somebody's gone away to it, I think they've come back and with something that's going to help our city.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, just a
Councillor Tully?
through the Mayor. Yeah, I just think I totally agree with what Jamie said. I think it's a good opportunity and I think it's a necessary opportunity to go away to these functions just to grow our council of Mount Isa.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I'm very interested in going to this one because we are putting up a motion about the state-owned houses in Mount Isa, how they don't pay general rates, and we're asking for the government to look at a more equitable solution to this. And I think it is quite a good motion, and hopefully it gets a little bit of backing at the conference.
Yeah, and in terms of the conference, I think there's going to be a lot of talk about the DRFA funding and upcoming changes to that, and there'll probably be further campaign on what we can do to help with that decision. So yeah, it should be a really great conference. All in favour? Carried. Do I have a mover for 11.1 Finance Overview Report June 2026 in Councillor Ballard's absence?
You want me? Okay. I'll just move that council receives and accepts the June 2026 Finance Overview Report as presented.
Thank you, Councillor Crowther. Do I have a seconder for the motion?
Seconded, Deputy.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Would anyone like to speak to that?
Can we just give a quick overview now that Dan's not here on the...
Would you like to speak to that, Manager? The Director's not here either. Yeah.
Closer and what's-
Yeah, Mossy, a bit closer. That's
Yeah, right. The finance overview, it's the interim year-end result. The final, we're hoping to be done by the month of August. This is the last report for the year. Basically, we are in a good position cash-wise. We are focusing around 59 million, well up from the start of the year. We focus finishing the year in a moderate surplus position. Our ratios still leave a bit to be desired, and as we work through the capital budget for the next year, we should start to see this improvement, but there is a long way to go. Grants are looking good with over 80 grants currently being managed across council, and another 15 applications have been submitted. Council sees a big risk with the federal disaster recovery grants under review. If this proposal goes through and the costs are passed on to councils, we will see a huge gap in disaster recovery, and betterment works probably worth millions to councils per year.
Thanks, Motsy.
Thank you. It sounds like we're in agreement about the betterment funding. Okay, all in favour? Carried. Do I have a mover for 11.2 Mount Isa City Council Departmental Business Units Finance Overview Report as of the 30th of June 2026?
Yeah, I'll just move that council receives and accepts the June 2026 Mount Isa City Council Department Business Units Finance Overview Report as presented.
Thank you, Councillor Crowther. Do I have a seconder?
Councillor Coghlan.
Thanks, Councillor Coghlan. Anyone wanting to speak to that? Or we're happy to vote? All in favour? Carried. Do I have a mover for 11.3 Financial Year 25-26 Desktop Revaluation of Land, Buildings and Other Structures and Road Infrastructure?
Yeah, I'll move that council receives and note this report, the FY 2025-2026 Desktop Reevaluation of Land, Buildings and Other Structures and Road Infrastructure, and that council formally adopt the FY 2025-2026 Desktop Revaluation of Land, Buildings and Other Structures and Road Infrastructure, and that council approve their inclusion in the audited financial statements for the year ending 30th of June 2026.
Thanks, Councillor Coghlan. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Thanks, Councillor Crowther. Would anyone like to speak to that?
No, it's just a 3-yearly rolling tender to undertake those valuations.
Okay, all in favour? Carried. Do I have a mover for 11.4 Financial Year 25-26 Comprehensive Revaluation of Water and Sewer?
Recommendation that the council receive and note the report for the financial year 2025-26 Comprehensive Revaluation of Water and Sewer, and that council formally adopt the financial year 2025-26 Compensative revaluation of water and sewer, and the council approved their inclusion in the audited financial statements for the year ending 30th of June 2026.
Thanks, councillor Tully. Do I have a seconder?
Councillor Coghlan.
Thanks, councillor Coghlan. So that's similar to the last report. All in favour? Carried. Do I have a mover for 12.1 Library Services Quarterly Report?
Yes, I'd like to move that council receives and accepts the library services quarter for 2025 to 2026 overview report as presented.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Do I have a seconder?
Coghlan.
Thanks, councillor Coghlan.
I will just read, the staff have prepared an overview of what's been going on at the library. During the April to June 2026 quarter, Mount Isa City Library continued to deliver a diverse and highly valued range of lifelong learning and community engagement programs. A strong focus remained on early learning through the First Five Forever initiative, with baby rhyme time and story time attracting a combined total of 737 participants for the quarter, and providing valuable opportunities for young children and families to develop language, literacy and social skills. School holiday activities, chess club, conversational English, bush poetry, the Young Writers Group and the CoLab programs all contributed to increased community participation, creativity, lifelong learning and social connection. The library also strengthened its community presence through special event, outreach activities and partnerships with schools, early years providers and local organisations, engaging the community through initiatives such as National Simultaneous Story Time, National Reconciliation Week, Under 8s Day and Bites and Beats Queensland Day. The quarter concluded with 5,509 library visitors, 2,231 public computer sessions and ongoing growth in the community engagement across library services and programs. So as we can all see, the libraries are no longer a building that you go to and borrow a book and take it home and read. And I would like to say they do a wonderful job here, and just you can tell by the that baby rhyme time and story time is just amazing, and it's a really great way for young mums to come and meet other people in the city when they're new here. So just like to say a big thank you to the library staff for all that they do.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. All in favour? Carried. Do I have a mover for 12.2 Environmental Services Quarterly Report?
Yes, I'd like to move or recommend that council receives and accepts the Environmental Services Quarter 4 2025-2026 overview report as presented.
Thank you, councillor Coghlan. Do I have a seconder?
Seconded.
Councillor Crowther.
Yeah, just like to say that our food inspections have certainly increased because of the show, and also they'll continue to increase because of the rodeo, and big congratulations on the Go Green Isa Free Plant Day. I think it was quite successful.
Anybody else? Well, yeah, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I'd like to ask, it has in here, we've been doing work on the Leichhardt Riverbed cleanup, but I know, I don't think the problem is actually getting addressed, and I'd just like to ask, with our cleanups, definitely for the safety of our staff, are the police present at those? And also Frank Aston Hill is actually, should be part of this as well, because at the moment that is looking really, really bad. And the Riverbed Action Group, are they contributing to helping clean up this issue?
Thank you for the question, Deputy Mayor. To break that down to the three questions, so the police are notified of each time council officers are attending to complete cleanups, and to the best of my knowledge, they are always attending. That attendance mainly occurs at the beginning of the cleanup to ensure that people are moved on out of the area so it can be cleaned, and they are aware of the operation that's occurring and do regular patrols. The next scheduled cleanup is actually today, so it's actually happening this morning. It started this morning, I believe it's 7 a.m. So the cleanup of both the riverbed and the hill as well, so that's happening today, and they are regularly targeted by council officers for cleanups along with the assistance of police. I'll have to take on notice the question of the working group, and I'll confirm that for you and come back to you.
Thank you.
Can I just have a confirmation from the directors? The Leichhardt Riverbed cleanup, there are two parts to it, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about rubbish, but I thought it was to do with the fire breaks and so forth.
Thank you, councillor. Yes, there are multiple components to it. We do a lot of work in the river in various ways, shapes and forms under various programs. There has previously been a riverbed cleanup program that was funded by the state. That's concluded now. We do regularly also undertake our fire breaks and riverbed maintenance. There's a couple of programs in conjunction with the state that help fund some of those works. There is also a component of the work in the general maintenance which is undertaken by council officers with council funds. There's numerous activities happening down there at the moment.
Thank you.
All in favour? Carried. Do I have a mover for 12.3, Waste and Recycling Quarterly Report?
Yeah, I'd like to recommend that council receives and accepts the Waste and Recycling Q4 2025-2026 Overview Report as presented.
Thanks, Councillor Coghlan. Do I have a seconder?
Second of Tully.
Thanks, Councillor Tully.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that there is, with recycling, there's a waste education officer beginning next month. And just a reminder to people with lithium batteries to take them out to the dump, and there is a storage facility there, because if you just throw them out within the rubbish, they can cause fires in the rubbish out there, which can then cause us more problems. So just be aware of that, please.
Thank you, Councillor Coghlan.
Oh, sorry, could I just add to that too? People looking at disposing of batteries, that we do have the battery disposable box at Woolies. You just, and I know a lot of people do use that, but some people might know about it as well. They have it just in the foyer near the door there.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Tully.
Just a comment about the sales through the tip shop there. I just think it's like that's a pretty good figure, really, considering the amount of time we've been running it for. And I mean, it may make a potential into building something like a shed or something out there to as that generates sales figure goes higher. We might look at something like that down the track.
Yeah, definitely. Anything redirecting landfill
Yeah,
is good.
it saves all going into landfill.
Yeah. Okay, all in favour? Carried. Do I have a move of 12.4, Development and Land Use Quarterly Q4 25-26 Overview Report?
Yeah, I'd like to recommend that council receives and accepts the Development and Land Use Q4 2025-2026 Overview Report as presented.
Thank you, Councillor Coghlan. Do I have a seconder?
Seconded.
Yeah, I think it just, the report shows that I think there's confidence out there within our community to build, to make where you are better, which is a good thing for our city. I hope it continues.
Thanks, Councillor Coghlan. All in favour? Carried. Did you get who seconded that? Was that Councillor Crowther? I missed it. 12.5, Review for Decision of Development of Application for Operational Works for Digital Advertising Sign at 8 Shackleton Street, Mount Isa. Do I have a mover?
I'd like to recommend that council declines the development application for operational works for an 8 metre by 2 metre digital advertising sign at 8 Shackleton Street, Mount Isa, described as Lot 144 on Plan MPH 13993, on the basis the proposed sign would result in additional unacceptable visual clutter in the proposed location and is inconsistent with the relevant provisions of the Department of Transport and Main Roads Roadside Advertising Manual, December 2022.
Thanks, Councillor Coghlan. Do I have a seconder?
Seconded, Deputy.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Would you like to speak to that, Councillor Coghlan, at all? Or
I think someone else wants to speak first.
does anyone else want to speak to that?
I will speak to it. I'll be supporting the motion, but I did, in dealing with this issue, read through the email that was sent by the applicant, and I think it highlights, I don't know whether council have followed procedure here or whether our office duties or responses aren't up to scratch. So I hope that we take this on board and look into why it has got to this. if that makes sense.
No.
I agree with the Deputy Mayor. It has highlighted the process, and I think the person who has applied for this has gone a long way down the track, believing that in good faith that they would be successful. So I think it has led us to look internally, and it's also, I think at the present we are, and the CEO can help me here, but I think at present we are looking at our planning scheme.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
We're currently reviewing our planning scheme. Look, at the end of the day, when conversations happen between officers and proponents, you've got to give the two sides of the coin. Like, the reality is that our current planning schemes sort of don't support the application that was lodged, but it's the right of every person to put in a planning application as well. So when you're having conversations with people, you can't tell them that their development's not going to get up, because reality is it's got to be weighed against the balance of the scheme. So you can't say outright that anything's in or anything's out.
No,
it's just not the way that you can deal with the proponent. So you've got to give both sides of the argument and tell them why it may get up or not get up, and then people interpret ways.
Thank you, CEO. Anything further?
I'm not going to be supporting the recommendation. I just feel that we've got some digital signs up already, as well as we can see that the current signs were just printed signs. They get to a state where they don't last. So I think this is a good option to start moving forward. If it does get declined, I sort of hope we then look towards the planning scheme to then start incorporating digital signs. So I think when we look at other towns and cities, that they are endorsing a lot of digital signage, because it just gives a bit more option and sort of brightens up the place.
Through the Mayor, I totally agree with Councillor Travis, is that the electric stuff is the future, and I mean we got to go with the future. Like all the signs out here, they only last a few years because the sun's so bloody hard on them. So, I mean, if we don't sort of start the process, I think we'll get left behind. So, I mean, I'm not in favour of this motion.
Yeah, usually I would support the officer's recommendation, but I will take on board that we are reviewing the planning scheme. There has been a precedent set, and there's ever increasing or decreasing ways to get people's eyes on things as a community, because people are watching their own streaming and listening to their own podcasts on the radio, so advertising doesn't work the way it used to. So I think those community digital signs are a great avenue for people to advertise what's happening in the community, and I haven't heard any adverse feedback about that one that we approved last term up there near Zambrero. So yeah, I'll be looking to head in that direction, and always happy to support people investing in town. Anyone further? Okay, we'll vote on that. Who is voting on the recommendation? No, we have to vote this one down first.
You got to vote it down first.
Yeah.
Well,
We've got a motion on the book.
We've got a motion on
Yeah.
the book,
Motion,
so we've
right.
got to vote. So
Yep.
who's for?
Oh.
Against? Okay, so do we have an alternate motion?
Reason. I'll read this out. You want to do it? Yeah, I'll do it. Reason for not adopting this recommendation: in accordance with the 254H-2 of the Local Government Regulations 2012, Council's reasons for not adopting this recommendation or advice are as follows. 1. Council is in the view of that this development approval can be managed with conditions. 2. A similar development has been undertaken successfully with conditions, with no incidents or complaints recorded that Council is aware of. 3. The application has been assessed by officers under the City of Mount Isa Planning Scheme 2020, which is currently under review, which is great. Digital signage has advanced significantly since the scheme's adoption. Therefore, provisions relevant are now considered outdated and may not align with the Council's broader view on digital signage. 4. Digital signage presents opportunity to stimulate the local economy. 5. Digital signage reduces visual clutter and multiple signage requirements along the streets. Digital signage presents opportunities for short-term advertising that is current and relevant to the local community in comparison to traditional fixed signages. In large urban environments, the digital signage is a commonplace, and this approval reflects current modern advertising standards.
Okay, so we'll take that as the reasons that we voted down the last motion, but then you need to move the alternate motion for the digital sign, is that right?
Yep, and then the council approves the development application for operational works for an 8 metre by 2 metre advertising sign at 8 Skeleton Street, Mount Isa, described as Lot 144 on Plan MPH 13993, subject to the following conditions 1 to 7 of approval.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
That motion. Second, Councillor Crowther. We're fine just to summarise 1 to 7 conditions. We don't need to read them all. Conditions as tabled? Okay, thank you.
Conditions 1 to 7 tabled.
Yep. Good job. All in favour? Carried.
I'll abstain from that vote.
Thank you. Do I have a mover for 12.6 out of round sponsorship Commerce Northwest?
Yeah, just recommend that council approves the sponsorship to Commerce Northwest in the amount of $8,000 as per sponsorship request for their event 2026 Northern Outback Business Awards.
Second, Tully.
Thank you, Councillor Doyle and Councillor Tully. Any words?
Yeah, the Northern Outback Business Awards aim to celebrate and promote Northern Outback businesses and recognise the outstanding contribution to the growth and support of the Northwest economy. The awards night will be a gala event to recognise the winners in business, organisation and employees across 12 categories. I just think it's a good idea and a good opportunity to celebrate our local businesses and give them some clout.
Yeah, let's hope it's well supported and we look forward to seeing that event back again this year on the calendar. All in favour? Councillor Coghlan, you yes or no?
Oh, no.
A no. Right.
You want to speak?
That was carried. No. Do I have a mover for 13.1, Major Projects Overview Report July 2026?
A recommendation that council receives and notes the June 2026 Major Projects Overview Report.
Thanks, Councillor Tully. Do I have a seconder?
Seconded.
Councillor Crowther?
Further to the items and updates in the report, I'd like to give some additional updates to the community regarding Council's 26-27 Capital Works program. Council officers have already commenced the program and procurement planning of the next round of projects, which will start hitting the market before Christmas, which is a big part of this being the $3.5 million fleet replacement program, and replacement of more of the public toilets around the city parks, and important maintenance activities occurring on Mount Isa and Camwell water reticulation networks. Works are also continuing on last year's projects, with the water trunk project continuing, the Lookout project aiming for completion in August, the reseal and road repair program contracted the last financial year to commence in September. And also recently we have seen the floodway projects on Duchess Road completed and the kitchen out refit at the Civic Centre handed over, which will provide additional levels of service for events and emergency situations.
Thank you, Councillor Tully. All in favour?
Can I speak?
Oh, you
please?
may.
Aye.
Deputy
Can I
Mayor?
speak? Oh,
Yeah.
We haven't voted yet, have we?
No, we haven't voted.
I'd just like to ask the director, the Gliderport Road, and also it's, I've asked before, Breakaway Estate. The entry into Breakaway Estate and the entry into the Gliderport Road, is there any plans in the future to have some sort of street lighting there so the actual entry is a little bit more visible at night time?
Thank you for the question, Deputy Mayor. So the intersection on Duchess Road and the recent works there undertaken, there is some flag lighting yet to be installed on that intersection. It's not the standard intersection lighting, as it's not required on those intersections. Additionally, the Breakaway Estate intersection is with a state-controlled road, and the lighting of that intersection sits with the state through the Department of Transport and Main Roads.
So the state's responsible for the Barclay, for the breakaway estate?
So that intersection with Barclay Highway is a state-controlled road matter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Likewise, Duchess is also a state-controlled road. Since we instigated the works at that intersection, there is some minor flag lighting to be done as part of the Glyderport Road access, but it is not the what would typically be associated with a large intersection because it doesn't meet those requirements.
What, as a particular councillor, what's the flag lighting? What's that?
It's a lower standard, basically, councillor. Yep.
That means we don't have a passing lane, like is that like a turning lane?
There is a channelized there's an augmented channelized left turn lane on the Duchess Road intersection. Yep. Sorry, apologies. It's a channelized left and a BAR, a basic augmented right-hand turn on that intersection design. That was the engineered standards that were applied.
Okay, all in favour? Carried. Do I have a mover for 13.2, naming of road, Duchess Road to Healy Heights, Glyderport?
Recommendation that council endorses a formal public road reserve opening application for the constructed road transferring lot 12 on SP 259033 encompassing future service corridors, and that council endorses formal naming of the road transferring lot 12 on SP 259033 between Duchess Road to lot 4 on SP 189948 as Glyderport Road, or...
No.
Yeah.
You just
That's
had to
it.
pick one or the other.
That's it.
Yeah, so you're either picking Glyderport Road or Resilient Drive.
Happy with that?
Yep.
Do I have a seconder for that motion?
Seconded.
Thanks, councillor Crowther.
I'd like to indulge a little bit here. I'll be in favour of this motion because the Glyderport that name has a great history within Mount Isa. That area out there was, of course, a Glyderport, strangely enough. And the soaring club out there, we haven't set many world records in Mount Isa, but the soaring club there actually set numerous world records for gliding above Mount Isa, length of time in the air, distance and so forth. So it was a very popular area, and the airstrip that they used was actually the old airstrip. It was the first airstrip in Mount Isa, and as a part of history, that was the airstrip that Sir John Flynn landed on when he attended to the injured miner, and that gave him the idea for the Royal Flying Doctor Service. So I think it's a very historical place, and I think the name is linked to that history.
Okay, thanks, councillor Coghlan, and I'd just like to thank the members of the community that took the time for the community consultation. I note that Glyderport was a very popular option. There were other popular original options as well, but I'm happy we've decided on Glyderport Road. Anything for all in favour? Carried. Okay, we'll now move to general business and throw to councillor Doyle.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the NAIDOC Week celebrations were great. Good to see everybody out and about and enjoying it. The schools are still celebrating the NAIDOC days here and there. You've still got a couple of the primary schools doing events and days, so all the parents get out there and get involved and enjoy it. Also, I just wanted to, I suppose on a personal note, just make point of anyone that's working with any of our youth, whether it be disengaged or academic or sports or anything at all, just make sure that you're creating and enabling an environment that you'd be happy and willing to put your own kids into, just so that we can get, for the betterment of our youth and our kids and just get some, like in the old days it used to be, your coaches and your teachers and so on were like second parents, and they really reiterated morals, rules, discipline, respect, and so on and so forth. So just make sure that we continuing on in that trend and making sure that we're getting our kids to be as disciplined and respectful and polite as possible, and then that'll create a lot more happier environment for them as well. So yeah, just wanted to pass that on.
Thank you, Councillor Doyle. Councillor Crowther?
Yeah, first up, just want to congratulate Mount Isa Golf for their successful Golf Open that held 2 weeks ago. They had a lot of visitors as well as local players, and I think there was good results all around with that. So looking forward to the upcoming rodeo week. Obviously with the Rodeo Queens, got to congratulate all four of them on the efforts that they've done over the last 6 months. I think in total they've been doing. They've raised heaps of money for all their charities, and we'll get to see who wins the coveted Rodeo Queen and Charity Queen in about a week and a half's time. So congratulations to them and good luck to all of them. Talking about the week, or the rodeo week coming up, don't forget we've got the Best Dressed Premises that's going to be running, so it's a good for all the people to get out and see those businesses that have done them up. That's sort of been done. We've got the Bush Poets, the Isa Street Fest, Marmon, and then obviously the rodeo. And then just quickly, from travelling to Phosphate Hill there with the Mayor and CEO, as well as attending the Booyah Camel races, I think we sort of need to look about talking to whoever we can about the road improvements and increasing the amount of double lanes around the crests and corners especially. So there's a lot of blind corners and that, and you sort of have to get off quickly when those those triple road trains come racing through, because you can't expect them to get off the road. And if it's a bit wet, you can see there's those big ruts there. So I think we sort of need to sort of look towards whatever we can do to champion that these roads get sort of attended, especially with the tourists at the moment with their vans as well. And that's me done.
Thank you, Councillor Crowther. Councillor Tully?
I totally agree with what Travis. I want to talk about the end of the golf and the Rodeo Queens. I think the Rodeo Queens has done an exceptionally great job this year. They've been out and about, really worked hard. I've probably never seen Rodeo Queens work as hard as what they have this year. They've just really excelled themselves, I think. Rodeos, I'm bringing that up because the next meeting it'll be all over for them. So best of luck to all of them for the two charity and Rodeo Queens. I just want to encourage people. It's what the Mayor just said about census. I think people, I just think it's really, really important. So if we can encourage people to make sure they are filled out, because the future of our grant money and all that is based on these census. So I just think if we can just really encourage people to take it seriously this time. I know last time it wasn't taken seriously. I didn't think so. If we can just get, make sure it is filled in properly.
Thanks, Councillor Tully. Councillor Coghlan?
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, I'd just like to remind people that the Mount Isa Transformation Study is still open till the end of the month. And it's an important one because it's a study into the future of the copper smelting and refining and the economic potential for the Northwest Minerals Province in Queensland. So all you need to do, it's MIT's industry study, so Mount Isa Transformation Study, shorten it. And I think it's important, and when I look through who they want to hear from, miners, explorers, engineering, technical services, equipment suppliers, the rail, energy, utilities, regional economic and advocacy groups, and the one that stands out is the supply chain businesses across Northwest Mineral Province. So that's just not equipment, but that's workers and that as well. So we have a lot of people in this town who rely on the mines around the place, and keeping that smelter open and the refinery keeps that chain open, so that there's more work done here than sending things away and it's done somewhere else. So it's really important if you're within that industry that you get online and you do that survey and try and help give them information that can keep us fighting for that smelter and the refining processes. A big congratulations to the Mount Isa Camp Draft, the Mount Isa Golf Open, as Travis mentioned, and the Under 10 and 11 Rugby League State Championships. Great events, and it was certainly a great weekend in Mount Isa. I did speak to the Queensland representative there at the League Carnival, and that 10-11 Carnival it's a little bit different. It's not endorsed as such, and so they have it during the school holidays. And I think it may be a great opportunity to go to Queensland School Sport and the Rugby League and see if we could somehow make it attractive to have it annually here in our school holidays, because if it's around that camp draft time, I know the kids went out to the camp draft and they just had a ball. They saw things they didn't see. It would be a great thing for the community and bring a lot of economic value to it. For people who don't know, the Eyes of Rats, they have their annual half marathon. Well, this year they're having their first ever marathon in Mount Isa. If you haven't started training, John, probably a bit late too at the moment.
Mate, I've been trying for ages, mate. Been trying for ages. Didn't you notice it? I can't believe you didn't notice it. Oh,
You fade away to a shadow, yeah. But I'd like to congratulate them. I've been saying for years they needed a marathon out here. And when I rung Stafford Thompson, who won the Townsville Marathon when he was living in Mount Isa, and the half marathon, he said it's a beautiful run. It'll have something to do with the lake, so it'll either be out or back and that. So support that, and if you're a volunteer or you're not doing anything, go and see the Eyes of Rats and volunteer, because there's always opportunities to just hand water out along the track, be there at the end and congratulate people. I'd like to thank the Deputy Mayor, the Councillor, Kim Coughlin, for her ongoing pursuit of the ABBA concert. The evening the other night was absolutely fantastic. The number of people who relived their youth. I seen one lady do the splits, which I probably...
Was that Coco?
No.
It was out there. It was just fantastic. As soon as before they even started the first song, there was people up dancing and that. It was a fantastic evening, and it was well worth it. And I hope the Civic Centre, I think they would have made some money out of it. I hope so, because it was well worth it. And on a night when I think the NAIDOC rodeo was on, and something else was on outside of town, Kajabi Yabby races, 500 people turned up. So it was well worth it, and so thank you. And good luck to all those people heading to Quamby and the Merry Muster and the Isa Rodeo. It's a great time of year. I always say to people, it's just like Christmas. Everyone's happy around here. So good luck to you all, and thank you to all those people who volunteer their time to make those events happen.
Thanks, Councillor Coughlin. Deputy Mayor.
Councillor Coughlin, what date is that marathon?
It is the weekend of the 24th of August, I think it is.
Are you
Just
nominating?
People, if they know.
Yeah.
Are you nominating?
Definitely
that
not
weekend?
planning for it.
Yeah.
I might hand out water. No, thank you for that. Just I thought if anyone is listening, that if you could give the date. Thank you, yes, for the ABBA show. It was amazing. I can't believe that I turned up in the same outfit as the person on stage. But anyway, apparently I didn't wear it better, but never mind. Great night out. Congratulations to everyone. My Councillor Coughlin spoke about the Vic Jensen 10 to 11 Rugby League Championships. It was noted on that at that championships that 9 of the current state of origin players had actually played in that Vic Jensen Championships, which is really good to know. So the pathway's there for the rugby league players. Hannah Clark was instrumental in getting that carnival together and running it. I just would like to say a really big congratulations to Hannah on that. She's also been instrumental in getting up and running a school competition with Mount Isa Touch. So every Monday we've got grades 3 to 4 and 5 to 6 are playing. All the schools were invited to nominate. We've got some schools have got 2 teams in the 3 to 4 and the 5 to 6. Once again, thank you for that. Apparently I did ref one of those games, the grades 3 to 4, and apparently I'm a very tough referee. And I just said to the kids, get used to it, because you need to learn the rules properly and you need to know them right from the start. But again, I just would like to say a big thank you to the Rodeo Queen Quest entrants for all that they've done throughout the year. It's been a busy year. I know they were really all looking forward to Saturday night when they were finished everything, but congratulations to all of them on what they've done, because that money definitely stays in Mount Isa that they fundraise, and that's a really good thing.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'd like to move that Council considers the confidential reports listed below in a meeting closed to the public in accordance with Section 254J of the Local Government Regulation 2012. 15.1 MyCo Finance Overview Report, June 2026. This matter is considered to be confidential under Section 254G of the Local Government Regulation, and the Council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as it deals with negotiations relating to a commercial matter involving the local government for which a public discussion would be likely to prejudice the interests of the local government. 15.2, request for concession to waiver outstanding rates and charges. This matter is considered to be confidential under Section 254JD of the Local Government Regulation, and the Council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as it deals with rating concessions. 15.3, request for concession on cleansing charges. This matter is considered to be confidential under Section 254JE of the Local Government Regulation, and the Council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as it deals with legal advice obtained by the local government or legal proceedings involving the local government, including, for example, legal proceedings that may be taken by or against a local government. 15.4, Queensland Music Festival, Outback Sounds multi-year sponsorship request. This matter is considered to be confidential under Section 254JA of the Local Government Regulation, and the Council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as it deals with the appointment, discipline or dismissal of the CEO.
No.
That's what it says.
No, it's a commercial.
Yeah, to do with communes, yeah, I don't know what's got that at the end, but maybe that just falls under what Section 254JA encompasses, and that's what's written there. Do I have a seconder for this motion?
Second.
Thanks,
Whatever.
Councillor Crowther. We're now moving into confidential. to move that council moves out of closed council into open council. Do I have a seconder for the motion?
Second.
Thanks, councillor Crowther. All in favour? Thank you. We can open that door now. Thanks, Tina. That door must open. Okay, do I have a mover for 15.1, MyCo Finance Overview Report, June 2026?
I'll just move that council receives and accepts the June 2026 MyCo Finance Overview Report as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second and Tully.
Thanks, councillor Tully. All in favour? Carried. Do I have a mover for 15.2, request for concession to waiver outstanding rates and charges?
Is it 15.2?
Yep.
15.2, yeah.
I recommend that council approves to grant a concession to waiver and write off outstanding rates and charges, including accrued interest of $10,570.39 on rates assessment 10005080 and outstanding water consumption charges, including accrued interest of $638.39 on utility account 211-04682 under section 119-120 bracket 1 bracket B bracket I bracket D bracket E and 121 bracket A and 122 bracket A of the Local Government Regulation 2012 due to financial hardship, and that council approves to grant a concession to waiver and write off outstanding water consumption charges, including accrued interest of $18,821.56 on utility account 211-66707 under section 119-120 bracket 1 bracket B bracket I bracket D bracket E and 121A and 122A of the Local Government Regulation 2012 due to financial hardship, and that council approves to grant a concession to waiver and write off outstanding rates and charges, including accrued interest of $1,586.51 on rates assessment 100-39881 and outstanding water consumption charges, including accrued interest of $168.62 on utility account 211-36775 under section 119-120 bracket 1 bracket B bracket I bracket D bracket E and 121A and 122A of the Local Government Regulation 2012 due to financial hardship, and that council approves to grant a concession to waiver and write off outstanding rates and charges, including accrued interest of $12,243.58 on rates assessment 100-58188 and outstanding water consumption charges, including accrued interest of $133,365.25 on utility account 211-52178 under section 119-120 bracket 1 bracket B bracket I bracket D bracket E and 121A and 122A of the Local Government Regulation 2012 due to financial hardship.
Oh, do I have a seconder for that?
Seconded.
Councillor Crowther, all in favour? Carried. Do I have a mover for 15.3, request for concession on cleansing charges?
I'd like to move that council extinguishes OM 110417, a concession on cleansing charges for 1 times 240 litre residential bin from the period commencing the 1st of July 2017 to assessment 02020-00000-000, and that council approves to grant a new concession for rates assessment 100211574, previously assessment 02000-00000, under sections 119, 120, 1B, 1E and 121A and 121-1A of the Local Government Regulation 2012 on the full cleansing service charges of 1 commercial garbage service charge, 1.5 cubic metre bin to be emptied once per week, commencing from the 22nd of July 2026, for so long as the centre continues to provide community programs that allow the community to congregate and utilise the services that the centre offers, and that this concession is subject to the centre submitting to council evidence of the continued delivery of these services to the Mount Isa community by end of March each year for review.
Thanks, councillor Coghlan. Do I have a seconder?
Second at Tully.
Councillor Tully, all in favour? Carried. Do I have a mover for 15.4 Queensland Music Festival Outback Sounds multi-year sponsorship round?
Yeah, I'll just move that council approves a 3-year sponsorship agreement with the Queensland Music Festival for their event Queensland Music Trails for the 2027 to 2029 up to the values listed below. 2027 of 90,000, 2028 of 75,000 and 2029 of 60,000. And then council approves in-kind sponsorship up to the value of $63,000 annually for 2027 to 2029 for their event Queensland Music Trails, and that council authorises the CEO to negotiate and finalise the details of the agreement.
Thanks, councillor Crowther. Do I have a seconder?
Seconded, Deputy.
Thanks, Deputy Mayor. All in favour? Against?
Against. Noted, please.
For?
Yeah, good.
Stop sitting on the
The only reason I'm
Pick a
saying
side.
it just, yeah, can we do a 3-year one when we're only got 2 years left, 18 months left? Okay. Because I remember coming up with rodeo and we couldn't do it. 2-year one on the rodeo, we asked for a 3-year one. That's right.
Because you're involved.
Okay. Thank you.
Probably.
I would now like to, there be no further agenda items. The time is 10:53 and I now declare this ordinary meeting of council closed. Thank you.
Thank you.